Rangers fan dies in Istanbul ahead of match. Alan Brazil jealous after what he's told about Jose Mourinho appointment at Rangers. Derek McInnes appointment claim made at Rangers amid interesting development. Kwame Poku Rangers links reignited. Fenerbahce urged to tear apart £3.5 million Rangers man. Pundit thinks may be a weak link. Want to see these and more Rangers news? Stay until the end. We are the people. Alan Brazil couldn't hide his jealousy after hearing the latest about Jose Mourinho and Rangers live on air. The self-proclaimed expert on all things football was left squirming when Mourinho admitted he'd be open to managing in Scotland one day without committing to either Rangers or Celtic. And you can bet that rattled Brazil, a man who can't resist a dig at anything related to Ibrox. Mourinho's Fenerbahce welcomed Rangers to Istanbul for the first leg of the Europa League last 16 tie, facing off against interim boss Barry Ferguson after Philippe Clement's shock sacking. But the real stir came when Mourinho, one of football's most decorated managers, left the door open to a potential future in Scottish football. Could you imagine the meltdown if he ended up at Ibrox? Brazil certainly wasn't having it. On TalkSport, he fired back in a panic, saying, "Don't even think of going there, Jose. There's only one place to go. Don't even think about it." The desperation was dripping from every word. And when his co-host pointed out that Rangers are an iconic club and a natural fit for someone like Mourinho, Brazil snapped back, "Steady. No, I don't know what you mean." Oh, but he does, and he knows exactly what it would mean for the balance of power in Scotland. Wherever Mourinho goes, he wins. Porto, Chelsea, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Roma, trophy after trophy. And if he ever walked through the doors of Ibrox, the days of Celtic's domestic comfort would be numbered. With the 49ers enterprises set to inject ambition and financial muscle into Rangers this summer, the club is finally in a position to start dreaming big again. Talk of Rafa Benitez has already surfaced, and if Rangers are shopping in that market, why not Mourinho? He's not a project manager, he's a serial winner. And with silverware back on the agenda at Ibrox, who's to say he wouldn't take up the challenge? Would Mourinho at Rangers be the single biggest managerial appointment in Scottish football history? And more importantly, would Celtic ever recover from it? Derek McInnes' name has once again been thrown into the mix for the Rangers job, but let's be honest, would you accept him at Ibrox after he turned us down before? The search for a permanent replacement for Philippe Clement is still on, and McInnes, currently at Kilmarnock, continues to be linked. Chris Boyd has suggested he remains in contention, and Ali McCoist has even touted him as a possible contender beyond this season, but not everyone is convinced, including Derek Ferguson, who believes McInnes would be an upgrade on Clement, but wouldn't be welcomed by supporters after snubbing the job in the past. Ferguson told Ibrox News domestically he'd be a good appointment and would do better than the previous manager. He's been there and done it. But he previously refused the job, and once you've done that, it's hard for supporters to get over it. And that's the real issue here. McInnes has been managing in Scotland for over 15 years with mixed success, a solid record at Aberdeen, a brief and forgettable stint in England with Bristol City, and now at Kilmarnock, where, let's face it, he's done a decent job. But is decent what you want for Rangers? Is scraping out results in the Scottish Premiership really enough to take us where we need to be? With the 49ers' arrival set to shake up the club, this is a golden opportunity to make a statement. Appointing McInnes would feel like a backward step when we should be aiming for a manager who can truly elevate the club. After rejecting us once, should McInnes even be considered? Or should Rangers be setting their sights much higher? The Kwame Poku to Rangers saga has reignited, and this time there's a real sense that the move could be more than just speculation. With the Peterborough United winger out of contract in the summer and his club resigned to losing him, Rangers could be in the perfect position to swoop in for a cut-price deal that would be an absolute steal. Poku was on fire before his injury, racking up 10 goals and 8 assists in just 20 games. That kind of form had scouts from clubs across England taking notice, with the likes of Crystal Palace and Southampton being linked to the 23-year-old. His pace, dribbling ability, and eye for goal saw him even being compared to Chelsea's Cole Palmer, highlighting just how much of an impact he was making in League One. But then came the hamstring injury in December, which sidelined him for more than 3 months and cast major doubts over his next move. Now he's finally set to make his return, with Peterborough boss Darren Ferguson confirming that Poku will be back in the squad for their upcoming clash against Wycombe Wanderers. And with just over 2 months left in the season, all eyes will be on whether he can rediscover his scintillating form. Peterborough's chairman, Darragh McInnes, has already made it clear that the club were fielding offers worth up to £6 million before his injury, meaning any English club looking to sign him will likely have to pay a hefty development fee, but Rangers don't have to play by those rules, eh? Thanks to cross-border regulations, the Ibrox side could land Poku for a significantly lower fee, just like they did with Joe Aribo, Calvin Bassey and Zach Lovelace in the past. For Rangers, this is the type of signing that could be a game-changer, a young, exciting talent with the potential to explode in Scottish football. Poku could add another dimension to an attack that has, at times, lacked real cutting edge. But the big question is whether the club should take the gamble. There's no doubt about his talent, but after missing 16 league games with a hamstring problem, is he the right risk to take? Or should Rangers be looking elsewhere for a more proven and reliable option? Fenerbahce fans and pundits are getting ahead of themselves if they think tearing apart Ridvan Yilmaz will be that easy. Ahead of Rangers' Europa League clash in Istanbul, former Fenerbahce player Ugur Boral has suggested the Turkish giants will have no trouble exploiting Yilmaz if he starts at right back. But do they really know what they're up against? Yilmaz has been one of Rangers' standout performers this season, proving his versatility by playing on both flanks when needed. His fearless attacking display in the 3-0 demolition of Celtic, where he had more shots than anyone else on the pitch, will go down as one of the great Ibrox performances. And let's not forget his game-changing impact against Kilmarnock, where he came off the bench to provide a perfect assist for Cyril Dessers, sparking a stunning comeback from 2-0 down. Yet, Fenerbahce seem convinced they can target Yilmaz as a weak link. Boral argues that because he could be playing on his weaker side, the home side can exploit positioning mistakes and drag him into the center of the pitch. But if Fenerbahce think a budget 4 times the size of Rangers guarantees success, they clearly haven't been paying attention to this team's resilience. Barry Ferguson is hopeful that John Souttar and Leon Balogun will be fit for the match, which would allow Yilmaz to return to his natural left-back position. That would give Rangers more solidity at the back, something they've lacked in recent games when key defenders have been missing. If Yilmaz was good enough to tear Celtic apart, why do Fenerbahce think they can walk all over him? Have they just handed Rangers the perfect motivation to prove them wrong? Tragedy in Istanbul for the Rangers family. A supporter of the club has sadly passed away in a road accident in the Turkish city just hours before the Europa League clash against Fenerbahce. The fan has been named locally as Christopher Potter, a man in his 40s who had traveled to support the team. According to reports from the Turkish press, the incident happened in the early hours of the morning in the Beşiktaş area. Christopher was struck by a car while crossing the road and was then run over by a second vehicle, tragically losing his life at the scene. Turkish authorities have arrested both drivers involved and an investigation is underway to determine the exact circumstances. Rangers issued an official statement expressing their deep sorrow. "We are devastated to have learned of the passing of one of our supporters in a road traffic accident in Istanbul. The immediate thoughts of everyone at the club are with his family and friends at this incredibly difficult time. We are remaining in constant contact with both the Turkish and British authorities over this tragic incident." Fenerbahce also extended their condolences, acknowledging the loss within the Rangers community and offering their support to Christopher Potter's family. The British Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office has confirmed they are aware of the incident and are liaising with local authorities. Now, a question that cannot be ignored: are safety conditions for visiting supporters in Istanbul truly adequate? Should the Turkish authorities take greater responsibility for the protection of traveling fans, or is it up to the supporters themselves to avoid dangerous situations? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now. Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video to help me out. I post videos every day talking about our Rangers, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.